The moonlight streamed into the hall through the windows, and the silvery glow made the shadows seem very deep. I stood in the middle of the room and my voice could hardly be lower. I think we should spend the next blue moon night together as a family. Maybe. It's going to help Kyle, it's going to help us. It was so silent, so heady you couldn't breathe. Lu Xiuan sat there, his face expressionless. The moonlight silhouetted him as cold as an ice sculpture, his sharp eyes looking straight into the distance as if he did not hear me. I bit my lower lip, my heart flooded with thousands of words, but finally I could only repeat, Lu Xiuan. Kyle deserves all this, don't you think he's had enough? He could not speak, but continued in silence. I looked down at Kyle, who was only 7 years old and frail, like a fragile glass ball. He was huddled by the fire, his pale face almost transparent in the firelight. Every faint breath is a struggle against life. Kyle was born with a weak heart and was unable to run and play like other wolf pups. In his world, pain is almost the norm. That's not fair to him, to me, to all of us. It's not just for Kyle, I continued, my voice growing firmer, it's for us. To remember the good times maybe. Maybe that will help us get back to who we were. Lu Xiuan's eyes finally turned to me, a short moment, as if there was a flash of emotion. But it was so fast, even I couldn't see it myself. Then he asked coldly, what do you want me to do, Sylar? I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself. As long as you're here, stay with us. Just once for him and for me. He sprang to his feet, his huge frame casting a long shadow in the moonlight. I thought he'd say yes, but he didn't. Without a word, he turned toward the door, the sound of the closing dull and distant like a cold chain separating us completely. At that moment, the empty room was colder to the bone than any winter night. I knelt by Kyle's bed and stroked his soft black hair, tears nearly falling, but I fought to keep them from falling. It's okay, Dee, I'm here. My voice trembled slightly and my heart was filled with helplessness. Kyle moved a little, his lips parted slightly as if he wanted to say something, but he fell asleep again. I held on to him, held on to this fragile hope. In the evening, at my desk, I went through the papers sent by the council, and my work allowed my brain to escape the complex emotions for a while. Suddenly, a rush of footsteps interrupted my thoughts. I walked out of the room and saw Lu Xiuan holding my sister Talia. Her face was pale and she was obviously injured. What's going on? I asked, my voice unconsciously tense. Lu Xiuan glanced at me, his expression elusive, then turned his attention entirely to Talia, with a concern and tenderness in his eyes that I had not seen in a long time. I said it was all right, Sylar. Talia chuckled, though there was an unnatural tension in her voice. I just fell. I'm fine. Nothing. Lu Xiuan's voice suddenly cool. You're bleeding, Talia. Sit down, I'll get the medicine. Lu Xiuan, there's really no need. Don't argue, he interrupted her softly, softer than I had expected. Stay here. That Talia made me nervous. It was in a travel I had never heard him say to my sister, with so much intimacy and tenderness in his tone. I lowered my head and my eyes fell on the small cut on her knee, but it was not a deep scratch, but Lu Xiuan seemed to find the crisis of her life, and her face was anxious. I forced a smile. Get well soon, Talia. Lu Xiuan will take care of you. She smiled, but there was a flash of indifference in her eyes that I couldn't ignore. Thanks, Sierra. Sorry to bother you. I turned to walk to my room feeling lost, but as I was closing the door, I heard Lu Xiuan's gentle voice, Be careful, Talia, these legs should be taken care of. The door closed gently behind me, and the sound seemed to be nailed to my heart. I stood in the room with anger and pain in my eyes. Once when I was wounded in the forest I expected him to rush to my side, but he didn't. When I got home, he simply said, Kyle is worried that you're back. A small wound. Those 3 words hurt me deeply. I was so small then, compared to Talia. I took a deep breath, my eyes fell on the papers on the table, and my hand involuntarily became a fist. Yes, the pain, the anger, the jealousy, all of these are mixed in my heart into an unspeakable emotion. Whatever it was, I finally realized I couldn't take it any longer.